Okay, so I'm currently working for DaDaABC and VIPKids, and I also got an job offer from Magickers. So I just want to kind of break down for all those that are considering doing it, like the different things that I personally think got me hired with each company. They are different companies, even though they have the same concept. They actually have quite a few differences. And so I want to break down what those differences are and what I feel like, in my personal opinion, this is not official per the companies. I want to break down what the differences are between the three hiring processes. Okay, so with DaDaABC, I feel like they're a little bit more of like an organic company. I know that sounds weird. They seem to have more like artisan, an artisanal feel, more creativity involved. So I'm going to tell you a few things I think, and like I said, it's not official for the company, but what I think is kind of what they focus on and what they really want to see in their teachers. So with DaDaABC, I feel like they really want you to just have fun. So you want to bring in your own kind of personality into that. If you can sing and you're very musical, maybe you play an instrument, bring that in, have fun with the kids, sing songs. If you're an artist and you're artistic, get your marker board and draw fun stuff or show different drawings that you've done. Bring in your personality so that the kids really have fun because they see you having fun, genuinely having fun doing what you love. And DaDaABC really wants you to be yourself. So if you play the guitar, bring the guitar into a lesson. If you're a drummer, bring some drumsticks, beat out a rhythm while they're learning how to say something. Or if you're artistic, really draw things out as you explain it. I'm none of those, so you don't have to be artistic or musically inclined or anything to get hired, for sure. But they want to see that personality really come out. DaDaABC leaves a lot of room for creativity in their platform, so you can do things a lot the way you want to do it. It's not super structured as far as each lesson and exactly what you're supposed to say. You do have a little bit more freedom to be creative and have fun while you're teaching. One thing I think that they really looked for in DaDaABC was staying calm. So if you have a child that is going off camera and reaching for stuff and distracted and whatever, they want to see that you're just like chill, like you can handle the pressure and you just keep that kid entertained. Maybe you do like touch your nose, touch your head, you just kind of come up off the cuff with stuff for that kid to do. The most important thing with DaDaABC that they're looking for is that you're going to be able to really connect with that student so that you're not just sitting here and talking to a student like you would a computer screen, but you're like actually reaching out, you're forming those relationships, and you're making those kids want to come back. You want them to be interested and to have fun so that they want to learn English, so they're really invested in it. So Magickers seems like a really fun, bright, think like kindergarten classroom environment. So they want you smiling and happy, and they're super energetic and they're bubbly, bright colors, and all that fun jazz. Yeah, the number one thing with Magickers is to smile. So make sure that when you're asking a question, and even if you're like, that you're still smiling with your eyes, with your gestures, with your body language. You want to be super happy all the time. So if you're interviewing with them in your interview, in your mock lesson, smile, 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 smile. Do not stop smiling the whole time. Magickers wants to see you moving. They do not want you sitting still. So use your hands, jump around the screen. Make sure you stay in your screen unless you're purposely going away. So like you can play with the kids and be like, what? Oh, hi, right? But move. So be active, lean forward, get closer. If you have, a prop, you can like bring it up. Be really energetic and fun. Okay, be bright. So you wouldn't want to wear this color shirt. You want to wear something bright when you interview, when you do your mock class, when you're teaching. So if you have, bright, you can have patterns with them. It doesn't have to be the solid colors, I don't think. You can wear bright, fun stuff. You want to show that brightness and that energy through what you're wearing. And I just realized I have my DaDaABC sign up. They're the only company that requires you to teach with that, along with all the other stuff I've already said about Magickers. Have energy, be fun, move around. All of that stuff comes into play with them. They really want to see that energy because they want your kids to stay focused. And if you're just sitting here and talking, a little 5-year-old over in China is not going to be listening. So make sure that you're just like energetic, but speak slowly. So it's hard sometimes to be super energetic, but to speak slow, because I feel like if I'm energetic, I'm going to talk fast, and you have to learn not to do that. So be super energetic, but still speak slow so they can understand you. Okay, with Magic Ears, you want to make sure that you're practicing the platform on the computer. So their platform is by far, from what I've seen, the most different than the others. So it's really, really an awesome platform. It's super interactive. So there's all these little things that you can click and that'll play music. And so if you're like me and don't like to sing, it's great because it plays the music for you and you just listen and kind of dance along with the kids, and you don't have to sing yourself because it does it. You can click and drag. So there's tutorials on their website that after you get into it, you can learn before your mock lesson. Make sure you do those. So it'll be like a split screen with like teacher and student, and you can drag yourself, like your little picture and video into that, and then like the student over here, and y'all can have a conversation. Meanwhile, these other kids are down here because you can teach up to 4 kids with Magic Ears. So then you can pick and choose which kids are muted and which aren't. And there's all these different functions and all these different options. So that's a huge one before your mock lesson. You want to definitely make sure. I was so glad that I had gone in and really looked at that platform and really played around with it, because it has a lot of features that are really, really awesome and that really help you teaching and make it easier, make it more fun. But if you went in and didn't know them, it could really make you flustered and really stress you out during your mock, and it would definitely show that you weren't prepared. Whereas I feel like the others, if you have your props and you have just looked through the slides, you're good. With Magic Ears, you really need to get in there and do all the different, click all over the screen and figure it out beforehand. Okay, so getting hired with VIPKids. This is, I think, the biggest one of the companies. They have the broadest base of both teachers and students. As far as their application process, it can take a couple weeks. You go through and you do your application. Then you have a mock lesson. So you jump straight into that, and it's with a mentor. So it's with an adult playing like a child. And I think I've talked about this a little bit in a different video. But you have to pretend like they're a child. So y'all will talk back and forth. They'll ask you some questions about your teaching experience or whatnot. And then you'll jump right in and you'll do this lesson. And then they'll stop you, or they may stop you and say, okay, you're doing good. Here's what you need to focus on going forward. And then you finish your lesson. Now, if you are an absolute rock star, you might just have one mock lesson. But the majority of people, including myself, have 2. So once you get done with probably your first mock, they will tell you like, okay, so it looks like you're going to be better. We think that you're more natural in teaching the little ones or the older ones or somewhere in the middle. And so they're going to kind of pipeline you into one or the other. And your second mock, go back. So your first mock is half and half. So it's like a partial lower level lesson and a partial upper level. Your second mock is one or the other, and it's a full lesson. So they get to really see you extend and do an entire lesson for the level they think you should be in. So then they put you in that lesson, and you teach it just like you do your first one, just like that adult is a child. They will stop you halfway through. I believe it's at 15-minute mark. It's a 25-minute lesson, which is what their normal lessons are. And you, again, get feedback. And then going forward, they want to make sure that you use that feedback. So with me, there were a couple times that I did not, as we went through, give a reward. And so they said halfway through, like, hey, make sure you're consistently giving rewards. Maybe not every slide, but really close. So I wanted to make sure now I know that one of my goals is to lay my little rewards out so that I don't forget to give all 5 by the end of the lesson. I don't want to wait till the last slide to be like, oh, you get 3 apples, right? So they told me that in my mock interview, and it's actually helped me kind of be cognizant of that going into the teaching. So the mocks are helpful. you need to make sure you have props. They're big on the props in the mock lesson. They're big on a reward system. I got this off Etsy for like, I don't know, a few dollars, and it came with apples and monkeys. So if I want to use apples one day, I can, and then I can use monkeys in the tree for another lesson, especially if I have the same kid. I don't have to use the exact same one. And then I also have my octopus that I got from Dollar Spot. So those are kind of my 3 go-to reward systems. You can also print out ones that they have in their slides and use those, but they do want you to have an external reward system. Make sure you have that in place. They also want to make sure that you see this, and they want you to wear an orange shirt. It is not required, though. I did not have one for my interview, although I do now have one for teaching. So I have a helper for a minute. So one of the biggest things with VIPKids is not using incidental language. So when you open up your slide for the first time, and you see that it says, you know, ABCD, letters, or phonics introduction, or whatever, you're not going to say anything like, okay, honey, today we're going to talk about phonics, especially at the lower levels. Now, if you're working with a kid that's already got some conversational skills in English, that's a little different. But for the lower level kids, you want to keep incidental language to a 0 level, none throughout the lesson. So they may have a slide. I don't want to pull up slides of theirs because I feel like that's copyright stuff issues. But let's say they have a slide with A and B on it, right? Maybe they have a picture of an alligator over here and they have like a bird or whatever over here. You don't want to say, we're going to see what A and B start with. Are you ready? Okay, let's look. No. So you would point, bring up a flashcard that has A as well, or circle A on the screen, or maybe both, and say, A, ah, right? Do those each 3 times, and then you might introduce, if it's a key concept, like the sentence, A makes the sound ah. Sorry, my baby just started to vacuum. Mm-hmm. And so if you say A makes the sound ah, and that's a key sentence, great. That's not incidental. So after saying the letter 3 times, the sound 3 times, maybe going big A, small a 3 times, then you could say A makes the sound ah, right? And listen, and then go on alligator. But you're not going to introduce, you're not going to have those transition words that we would typically have like in a brick and mortar classroom if you're a current teacher. You know, when you move on to the next slide, you're not going to say, okay, let's go on. Nothing, you just click and do it, and that's it. Okay, so similar to the others, this is important across the board, but VIPKids really, really likes you to be expressive. So whereas I feel like, and again, this is all my personal opinion, this is not anything official from any of the 3 companies, where I feel like Magic Ears really just wants you happy no matter what. Like even if you're asking a question, you're like, what? Huh? Whereas I feel like VIPKids, you have a little bit more room. So if you're wondering something, you're like, you're not smiling right then. Or if you're asking a question, right? You don't have to keep a big smile plastered on your face, which is what I got the feeling more Magic Kids want, or Magic Ears wants. But VIPKids, they want you to use a lot of expression. So smile really big for happy, really, really sad for sad. But don't just be neutral. Use lots and lots and lots of different expressions. VIPKids also wants you to use a lot of props. So, hello, hi, how are you? I'm good, right? Do you like birthday cake? I love birthday cake, right? Props, use them. I want to talk about this again. I already mentioned it. Have a reward system. So the other companies, Magic Ears is built into the system, to the platform. You don't have to have an external. DaDaABC wants you to have an external reward, but it wasn't like a big stressed deal. It wasn't an ongoing conversation or anything they really brought up. So I do use one with them. I don't feel like it's quite as important. They do have an internal one on their platform as well. VIPKids makes a very big deal out of the reward system. So in their PowerPoints, at the beginning, there will be like on the second, third, fourth slide, depending on the lesson you're on, there will be a reward system. And it may be like some boxes, and then like a monkey, right? And it says something along the lines of like, each time you do a good job. Let me see if I can draw kind of an example. Okay, so you'll have like boxes. You'll have like a monkey up here. I'm not going to try to draw a monkey, right? And then you'll have like a banana, and it'll say, you know, implying that when they do good, the monkey gets a banana. You can use that one but you can't do anything with it. It's not interactive on the platform. So you can print a copy of it, cut out the bananas and stick them on the squares as you go through, or you can just use that as your key to explain your reward system to your student without actually using the like monkey banana system. You can come up with your own, like I said, the trees with the apples, the octopus with the seashells. It may be that you have an older kid that is really happy with playing like hangman. So you draw sort of hangman. You draw like lines, and you just have them win a letter every time they do good, so that by the end of the lesson, they figured out the key word. And maybe it has something to do with the lesson. So maybe it's their name, something simple like that. But have a good reward system. With VIPKids, the final thing is to have your fun background. So yeah, with DaDaABC and Magicers, they want you to have fun and bright. But VIPKids, again, kind of like the props, seems to focus more on the background. They want you to have stuff in the background. They want you to have your reward system showing at all times. So what you don't want to do is have it sitting down here, and every time they get something, you pick it up, put it on, and then put it away. So figure out a way to display your reward system, and that can be however you come up with. But have something. It doesn't have to be a map, but maps are super cheap. Target dollar spot, I think that was $3, maybe even less. I may have gotten that on Amazon. I don't know. It was super cheap. I got the little fun banner thing. It definitely was Target dollar spot. This little dry erase board, Target dollar spot. Magnetic letters and stuff were Amazon for like, I don't know, $10 for the whole set. So, and then I got a dry erase board. I already had the bulletin board, so that was nice. This little cute board was $3 at Target. So you can really set up a pretty cute background for next to nothing. I have a magazine holder that I already had, and I use it to keep just all my extra props in, so they're kind of right here and handy. So make sure you have something. If you interview, you obviously may not want to go out and buy stuff before. You can hang up a colored sheet and maybe, get some magnetic letters. If you have kids, there's tons of stuff you could use just from theirs. If you had something left over from a birthday party or just something, make it colorful, make it fun. Have some sort of background, even for the interview. So that wraps up Magicers, VIPKids, and DaDaABC, and kind of what I feel like, in my personal opinion, the different companies are looking for. There are some things I would recommend across the board, whether you're applying for one of the three or all three. Practice. So I would set it on my computer and run through and do a practice lesson, have it record. There's an app that you can download to Google Chrome called Screencastify that allows you to record everything that's going on your screen. It's really handy for practicing. Go through those mock lessons that you'll get ahead of time. Go through the PowerPoints and act like you're doing it. It's weird to have a one-way conversation when nobody's on the other side, but go ahead and practice. Record yourself and watch it. In addition to that, don't just watch yourself. Watch YouTube videos. So people have all kinds of videos out there posted. There are some really great ones, and there are some okay ones. But watch and kind of get some ideas. It really helps you get used to the no incidental language usage. It really gets you used to just the expressions, the smile, the sad, the how old are you versus how old are you, right? It just gets it where it comes to second nature. The more you can watch, the better it'll be, because you'll be more used to it and it'll feel more natural. Read. There are also articles on online, but just on their websites. So go into VIPKids, go into DaDaABC, what makes a good DaDaABC teacher, and Google it, look it up, read about the companies. There were several things I learned that really helped me when I was talking to the mentors about, I really feel like whatever. And it was all stuff I just read about online. So do your research. You don't have to do a whole lot. You don't have to spend a lot of time on this. Spend 20 or 30 minutes for each company, just kind of Googling their name and their ideas and what they say. And then also, most importantly, so after you've done all this, you've watched all these lessons, you've read, you've practiced, make it yours. Don't copy someone else. You're not the same teacher as somebody else. You're not the same person. And if you try to teach identical to how they do, it's going to seem awkward and it's going to seem fake and it's going to seem weird. And the kids will absolutely pick up on it. So teach like you want to teach. Make it your own thing. You might have the super energetic personality and super bubbly and super bright, and awesome if you do. You might be a little bit more calm. You might have like a soothing voice. So those kids that get nervous easy, those kids that aren't real outgoing, maybe they don't shy away from you as much as they would somebody that's super in their face, right? But a kid that's super energetic and is all over the place may need a more energetic teacher to entertain them, or they may need a more chill teacher. So there's good and bad to all of it. Do you. Don't do someone else.